Hey everyone, and if you're just joining us, welcome to Retirees Benefits. I'm here because I know you're probably feeling overwhelmed right now. Maybe you checked your EBT balance this morning and something looked different. Maybe you got a letter in the mail that you're not sure how to interpret. Or maybe you're just trying to stay ahead of changes that could affect your family's food security. Today we're talking about major SNAP benefit changes happening this September that specifically impact people receiving Social Security, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefits. And I'm going to be straight with you. Some of these changes are challenging, but there's also some genuinely good news mixed in that I want to make sure you don't miss. Before we dive in, let me tell you why I'm here. I spent hours this week reading through the official USDA reports, state agency updates, and policy documents so you don't have to. I know these government documents can be confusing, and honestly, sometimes they seem written in a different language. My job is to translate all of that into something that actually makes sense for your real life. Here's what we're going to accomplish in the next 12 minutes together. First, I'm going to explain exactly who these changes affect. And if you're receiving any combination of SNAP, Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, you need to pay attention. Then we'll walk through what's actually changing this September step by step. I'll give you the specific dates, these specific dollar amounts, and most importantly, what you need to do about it. We'll talk about the challenges, yes, but I promise we'll also cover some genuinely positive updates that might help your situation. And at the end, I'll give you a clear action plan, what to check today, what to watch for next month, and resources that can help you navigate these changes. Let's start with who needs to pay closest attention to this video. If you're receiving SNAP benefits and any of the following apply to you, these September changes will directly impact your household. First, if you're receiving Social Security retirement benefits, this includes anyone 62 or older who's drawing their Social Security. The interaction between your Social Security income and your SNAP benefits is changing in ways that might surprise you. Second, if you're on SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, particularly if you've been on SSDI for less than 24 months, there are specific provisions affecting your eligibility and benefit amounts. Third, SSI recipients. If you're getting supplemental security income, whether for age, blindness, or disability, you're looking at some significant changes to how your benefits are calculated. Fourth, veterans receiving VA disability compensation or VA pension benefits. The way these benefits interact with SNAP eligibility is shifting, and for some veterans, this could mean losing benefits you currently receive. And finally, if you're in a household where someone receives any of these benefits, even if you're not the direct recipient, so spouses, adult children living at home, or anyone else in the household, these changes affect your entire household's SNAP benefits. Now, let's get into what's changing this September. And I'll be honest with you, we need to start with the challenging news first. The biggest change affecting SSA, SSDI, SSI, and VA benefit recipients is how SNAP calculates your household income. Starting September 1st, there are new requirements for how quickly changes in your other benefits must be reported to your SNAP office. Here's the specific change. If your Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits increase or decrease by more than $25 per month, you now have 10 days to report this change instead of the previous 30-day reporting window. This sounds simple, but the consequences are serious. If you don't report within 10 days, you could face what's called an overpayment situation. This means if your benefits should have been lower and you didn't report the change in time, you might owe money back to the SNAP program. The second major change is stricter enforcement of asset limits for households receiving other federal benefits. If someone in your household receives SSDI or VA disability compensation, your household's asset limit for SNAP eligibility remains at $2,250. But the enforcement is getting stricter. They're now cross-referencing bank account information more frequently. If you have savings accounts, checking accounts, or other assets that put you over the limit, you're more likely to be caught and potentially lose SNAP benefits. This one is particularly concerning. If you're receiving SSDI but have been deemed capable of substantial gainful activity, even if you're not currently working, you may face new work requirements to maintain SNAP benefits. This primarily affects SSDI recipients under 50 who have been receiving benefits for less than 24 months. The work requirement is 20 hours per week or participation in approved training programs. Okay, I promised you some good news and I meant it. Not everything changing this September is working against you. First, there's a new simplified application process for households where everyone receives SSI, Social Security, or VA benefits. If your entire household's income comes from these sources, you can now use a shortened application that's only 3 pages instead of the usual 8-page application. This also means faster processing times. They're aiming for approval or denial within 7 days instead of the standard 30 days. For families waiting for benefits to start, this is huge. The standard utility allowance, which helps reduce your counted income if you pay for heating or cooling, has increased in most states. This is the deduction that accounts for your utility bills when calculating your SNAP benefits. In many states, this allowance increased by $1.50 to $75 per month, which means your net income for SNAP purposes is lower, potentially qualifying you for higher benefits. If you pay any heating or cooling costs, even if heat is included in your rent, but you pay for air conditioning, make sure your SNAP office is applying this deduction. If you're experiencing homelessness and receiving any combination of these federal benefits, there are new provisions that make it easier to qualify for and maintain SNAP benefits. You no longer need a permanent address to apply, and the asset limits don't apply if you're classified as homeless. While some medical expenses were removed from allowable deductions, the threshold for claiming medical expense deductions was actually lowered. You can now deduct medical expenses that exceed $35 per month instead of the previous $50 threshold. For many people managing chronic conditions or regular medical expenses, this change could result in higher SNAP benefits. Let me break this down for specific groups because the impact varies depending on your situation. If you're a single mom receiving SSDI or SSI while also getting SNAP, your biggest concern is the 10-day reporting requirement. Set up calendar reminders for any changes in your benefits. Also, if you're paying for childcare so you can attend medical appointments, those childcare costs may now be deductible from your SNAP income calculation. Veterans, your VA disability compensation is being treated differently in SNAP calculations starting this September. If your VA rating increases, you need to report this within 10 days. But here's some good news. If you're receiving VA benefits for aid and attendance, these payments are now excluded from SNAP income calculations in most states. If you're 60 or older and receiving Social Security, the automatic renewal option I mentioned could be huge for you. No more annual paperwork stress, but you still need to report any changes in your Social Security amount within 10 days. The good news is that if your Social Security gets its annual cost of living adjustment, many states will automatically adjust your SNAP benefits without requiring you to report it. If you're receiving SSDI or SSI, pay attention to the medical expense deduction changes. While some expenses are no longer deductible, the lower threshold means you might qualify for deductions you couldn't claim before. If you have regular medical expenses, prescriptions, medical supplies, therapy, keep detailed records. Even small expenses can add up to significant deductions now that the threshold is only $35 per month. All right, let's talk about what you need to do today, this week, and this month to protect your benefits and potentially increase them. First, call your SNAP office or log into your state's benefits portal and verify that they have your current Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefit amounts on file. Make sure everything matches your most recent award letters. Second, if you have any medical expenses, and I mean any, including prescriptions, medical equipment, transportation to medical appointments, gather those receipts and calculate your monthly total. If it's over $35 per month, you may be entitled to a deduction you're not currently receiving. Third, review your housing and utility situation. If you pay for any heating or cooling costs, make sure your SNAP office is applying the standard utility allowance. This could be worth $1.50 to 75 cents per month in additional benefits. Set up a system to track any changes in your federal benefits. When your Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits change, you now have only 10 days to report it. Put reminders in your phone, mark your calendar, or ask a family member to help you stay on top of this. If you qualify for the simplified application process, ask your SNAP office about switching to it. This could make your next recertification much easier. Let me give you some specific resources because I know navigating this alone is overwhelming. First, the USDA SNAP hotline, 1-800-221-5689. They can answer questions about federal SNAP policies and direct you to your state's resources. Second, benefits.gov has a pre-screening tool that can help you understand how these changes might affect your specific situation. It's free and confidential. Third, your local area agency on aging can help if you're 60 or older, even if you're not currently receiving their services. They often have staff who specialize in benefits coordination. Every state has SNAP outreach coordinators. These are people whose job is specifically to help you navigate SNAP benefits. Your state's SNAP website should have contact information for these coordinators. Local food banks and pantries often have staff who are very knowledgeable about SNAP benefits. Even if you don't currently use food pantry services, many offer benefits counseling for free. I know some of you are watching this and feeling scared or overwhelmed. That's completely understandable. Changes to benefits that help feed your family are never easy, especially when you're already stretched thin. But I want you to remember something important. You have rights in this process. If your benefits are reduced or terminated and you don't understand why, you have the right to ask for an explanation. You have the right to see the calculations they used. And you have the right to appeal if you think a mistake was made. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself or ask for help advocating for yourself. These programs exist to help you. And while the rules are changing, the fundamental purpose remains the same: to ensure you have access to nutritious food. Remember that these changes don't happen in isolation. If your SNAP benefits are reduced because of changes in your other benefits, there may be other programs that can help fill the gap. Local food banks, WIC, if you qualify, senior nutrition programs or emergency food assistance might be available. If this video helped you understand these changes, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. I promise to keep tracking these benefit changes and translating them into language that actually makes sense for your real life. In the comments below, let me know which of these changes affects your situation most directly. Are you dealing with the new reporting requirements? Are you potentially eligible for the simplified application? Your experiences help me know what topics to cover in future videos. And if you know someone who receives SNAP benefits, along with Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, please share this video with them. These changes are complex enough that many people won't hear about them until it's too late to take advantage of the positive changes or protect themselves from the challenging ones. Check the description below for links to all the resources I mentioned today, including state SNAP offices, the federal SNAP hotline, and benefits.gov. Remember, you deserve food security. You deserve to understand the programs designed to help you, and you deserve to have someone in your corner helping you navigate these changes. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'll keep making these videos. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.